and our spirit. We're caught between our flesh and our spirit and our future. I want to say good morning to everyone. Welcome in to the early bird service. We're going to get right to it this morning. Thank all of you for joining us, those that are at the Mother Campus, as well as those that are in person here at 33 Market Point Drive, as well as the virtual campus to all of our global connections. I want to thank the media team. You guys have done an excellent job over the last 30 plus days. Our numbers are through the roof, and all those that are in other countries that are liking, sharing, and posts, please continue to do that. You're helping us as we help you. I spoke to you yesterday, and I said that I was going to talk about why not me. And so what I really want to do is just have a brief conversation to spark the vision of your future in you. Why not me? And for the writers, right off the bat, courage is the most of all virtues, most important of all virtues. And you can't practice courage without consistency. I'll say it again. Courage is the most important of all virtues. And we can't practice courage without consistency. Consistency is what makes the thing move down the road. Here's the thing, why not me? When we look at today's society, we have, and the mindset of not all, but many in the world, is a mindset of disposition. There are people and there are things that want to either disenfranchise you, put you at a disadvantage, make you think you're disadvantaged, make people feel like something's wrong with this, regardless of shape, size, color, intellect, intelligence, content, or character. I want to psychologically manipulate your mind through your exterior to put the brakes on your future. So when we look at this, I was thinking earlier, kind of asking the question, but I thought this was significant. We need to stop replacing God with heroes. We need to literally get out of the fan club. The Bible, the Old Testament says, have no other God before me. And what that's really saying is, if your focus is more on celebrating someone else, whether that it can be addict to the phone, an addict to drama, an addict to social media, an addict to sports, it consumes you. And so then God, there's no relationship with God. There's just, help me with my problems, God, while I run my life. So we need to stop replacing God with the hero. Now, why is that significant and biblically? It simply goes back to Psalms 51, stanza 10. Create. David realized he needed something greater than him and greater than his environment and greater than his culture and greater than his family and greater than his limitations to guide him. How do you have what you don't know? How can you say, I can pass this or overcome this, and you don't even know what your opposition is? The first opposition for anyone is themselves. That's the first opposition. I have to deal with the critical dysfunctional side of myself. And I have to acknowledge that I have a critical and dysfunctional side of myself that works against my purpose and my destiny. It's beyond my ethnicity. So I have to realize this. And here's what he says, created me. In other words, God, please help me evolve beyond what I think. Why is that significant? The Bible says all the ways of a man, good or right. And so if I don't do anything and I'm in my feelings and I'm in my emotions and my mind, my imagination, I talked to a guy yesterday and he was saying something to me and I said, hey, we've been brothers since I was 3. So that means we've been brothers 60 years. Here's the problem. You're an addict. You are addicted to dysfunction. You can't operate in peace. You were with me? And it was the same about his partner. There are some people cannot function without chaos. If they didn't have a problem, they wouldn't have anything to identify with. If they were not negative, if they can't be negative, they can't live in a positive and a calm world. Somebody has to blow up something. Make it up. So the thing that we have to do for the writers is simple. He said, create in me. I have to change. Many people that we're dealing with, yes, physically he or she is attractive, but here's the thing. Do they have a heart that's been circumcised by God? Which is pulling off the old nature. The con artist, the manipulator, the liar, the cheater. See, we're picking what we see, but we don't know the unknown if we don't have any kind of spiritual insight. And for me, in that situation, it's like, why do you keep putting yourself through misery? You have all the evidence in front of you. Every morning that you wake up, if someone could, they wouldn't allow you to wake up. And yet God gives you the ability to wake up. And so the question becomes, what are you doing with your opportunity in a new day? So here's what has to happen. Faith and belief beyond culture and criticism. David, out of all he had done, that nobody could stop him. He wasn't happy. He wasn't pleased. He wasn't complete. Even when he had family internal fighting. See, we think when there's a family internal fighting, it's something new. It goes all the way back in history. Internal fighting. Not only with his dad, but also with his father. See, sometimes your own family can't stand to see you be successful. And yes, you're their child. Yes, you're the daughter. Yes, you're the son. But then sometimes your own cousins can't stand to see you successful. You know why? They're doing nothing with their lives. But if they can control your mind, they can control your life. I'll say it again. If they can control your mind, they can control your life. And if they can put poison in your culture. See, in some cultures, they only celebrate ignorance and stupidity. They celebrate dumb stuff. Some people think if they're not paying you for it, if they're not paying you to be ignorant or play a role of being ignorant, why would you do it? Why would you wake up every day to degrade yourself? So my question this morning, why not me? Why would you get up every morning to let someone put the pigment of your skin in front of your future? Why would you do it? The problem is we've made people and things our hero. So we replace God to guide us, to give us inner strength and inner peace. Because see, God gives you those things. God gives you the creativity to build things, and man gives you things to distract you. He gives you toys. The enemy sells false hope. So my question is, and we go back to Acts, I can't think of what it is, Acts 17 and 26. And he says, all he have made out of one blood, all. And when you don't know your history, people can obscure your history by giving you their version. Too many people have deposited trash in people's lives to create stumbling blocks. So while you're gushing around in the trash and looking for a needle in the haystack and a diamond that don't exist, they've taken your space, somebody else's space, and they moved on down the road. You have to realize all people are not fair, and some people have the mindset of a parasite. And here's the thing, fear is the new currency, becoming an intoxicating law of no truth. I'll say it again. Fear is the new currency. Now, we don't want to serve God, but we want God to put on his overalls and go fix our problems. And once our problems fixed, we go back to making people and things our hero, and we don't go back and worship and praise God. We don't want a relationship with God. We just want the benefits. Oh, I like that. Professional handyman. If we complain to people as much as we complain to God, we wouldn't have nobody standing around us. Fear is the new currency, becoming an intoxicating law of no truth. So if people keep telling you a lie, if you don't have up any kind of spiritual firewall, you know how most of the time if you're trying to do your banking, you need what do they call a cybersecurity to protect you from spamware. What's protecting your spirit? Yeah, it starts with you. If you don't see the value, you won't put up a firewall. This is why some people, you can look at them, but all they bring is trash. Now, I'm going to give you something that I heard. I thought it was significant. I want the writers to write the word poor. P-O-O-R. Okay. All right? And it's significant. I heard someone teaching this, and I said, well, I need to write this down. Because people like to disposition you. Here's what they do. When people look at poor people and they try to segregate that through color or ethnicity or culture, here's what they're saying. You keep passing over opportunities repeatedly. Because if someone keeps criticizing you, you will continue to pass over opportunities repeatedly. P-O-O-R. You pass them up. Because they've gotten you to function in your feelings and emotions, and you become a person that act out. So if an opportunity was there, you're too negative to embrace it. If a new career was on the horizon, you would literally talk yourself out of it because they have poisoned your mind because you had no spiritual firewall. You had no spiritual equilibrium to balance you. You're stuck on what they said and not why they said it. Why would people who've never met you have the cognitive ability to try to judge you? And think in their mind that they can take a system and manipulate you. You're out there with no armor, and they're writing laws that they can say, oh, he stole my purse. Oh, she did this. Oh, she said this to me. Oh, she was staring at me. Oh, I feel uncomfortable. And then you go back to your village and act stupid. You can't be in a first class seat with a backseat kind of mindset. I'll say it again, poor, P-O-O-R, passing over opportunities repeatedly. How many times have you disconnected with a person because of what you thought about them, but not anything of knowing anything about them? Now, ask me, how do they do this? How do they do this? First of all, watch out for people that put you at a disadvantage. Ask me, what does that mean? Why do you have to prove yourself and they don't? If all people, all nations were made out of one blood. See, the problem is you're letting people judge you by perception and prior behavior because someone ate the fruit. It's the same thing Adam and Eve did in the garden. They ate the fruit. You ate the poison that they put out there about you. You ate the poison that they put out there about your size. You ate the poison. You ate the poison that they put out there about your culture. You ate the poison. Why not you? You ate the poison. You kill your hope, your dreams, your relationship with God, all for the exception of people who have to face the same God you do. Whether you're broke, rich, have hair or no hair, you have to face God. And if you don't want to believe him and you don't like him, just die and call me. Collect. Now, y'all don't know nothing about collect. This ain't an audience that know about collect. You old enough to know about collect? When you got a call and the operator tell you, you know they're going to be charges. And you got to talk fast. Yes, that's the free part. And as soon as they connected, you on the clock. And see, as soon as some people see you, It is their attention, and can I make it plain? It's their attention to put you at a disadvantage. And it's not one particular ethnicity group. It's anybody, because they don't know your value or your future. And if you don't know your value, your future, and your own reality, they will manipulate you until you're out of your prime. You can't get 80 to figure out you want to be a sprinter. Yeah, I'm running for my life. I'm running for. You didn't know about those songs, were negative. Okay. See, if anybody, what's the matter with me? Tell them I said it's fire. Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized, and I got Jesus on my side, and I'm running for my life, and tear up the church. Yes, and spend 30 minutes and get your shoulders going. You know, you just get tired, hot, musty, and sweaty. And here's the whole point. And when you walk out the door, this is what happens. And so, how would they do this? I heard this, and it was, and sometimes you got to learn to listen to them for the small niggas. I'm going to give you 4 D's. What time is it? Okay? Well, we've done a lot in 16 minutes. I'm going to give you 4 D's. How do they do it? D, A, B, C, D. See, I don't know what was wrong with me. I was out on a audit, and I think I must have drank an energy drink, and I was awake. Yeah, I was high. Okay, I was awake. I was awake at 4:30 a.m. and had to be up at 6. And I ready, ready for my life. Yes. 4 D's. A, B, C, D. I'm going to give you 4, the letter D. How will they do this? The first one is watch out for people putting you at a disadvantage. How will they do it? The first thing they do is dismiss you. They don't even want you in their presence, so they dismiss you. You ever walked up and tried to speak and smiled at people and there's no expression on their face? That is not because of you. It is because of short-sightedness, and they have prejudged you. So they try to dismiss you. They think you have no value. Number 2, they discredit you. They assume what they don't know because you don't know nothing about yourself. So they discredit you. And you know the sad part about that? People buy into it. People buy into, well, you know, well, you know, well, you know, well, you know, well, you know. They dismiss you. Then they discredit you. They don't think you have anything of value to bring to the table. So you go outside and act like you from the zoo or from the jungle. And they discredit you because they don't want you to think. The greatest danger to the opposition is the ability to think. So they discredit you. So they dismiss, discredit, and here's what they do. To make sure you don't make it, they demonize you. You know why? When you don't have value, you just do and say anything. You ever seen 2 people talking, but people can hear them down the street? Why are you talking so loud? This is who I am. This is really. So you have no cognitive intelligence, intellect and intelligence at all. All you have is sight. No inside voice. No library voice. Dismiss, discredit, and demonize, which means they make you a threat. Oh! No, I'm serious. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. And see, and so when they discredit you, they don't think you're supposed to be in certain places. And you go in there with your face ashy, knuckles ashy, lips ashy. You go in there with your club clothes on. Hello, America. You go in there, I want y'all to know where I be, where I'm from. That's what you do. That's what you do. That's what you do. You wear what people wear when they're not going nowhere. Hmm? What's D.L. Hughley said it best. He said there's a certain section of people who get it, and he was giving credit to you. Read between the lines to you guys. But he said, we as men, we're going into a place of business to talk business for a cultural fashion show. You cannot wear, as my cousin, I call him the great Daniel O'Neill Cohen, you cannot wear MC Hammer pants to an interview. Hmm? Hmm? I don't know if you've heard this. It's probably an old school word. You have to dress. You have to dress the part. You have to dress from your intellect and intelligence, not for how I feel. This must be hitting. Is this hitting hard? You want to be respected when you didn't respect yourself. Your presentation is critical because there are those that will dismiss, discredit, and demonize. Oh my God! Well, you ever felt like you were the only person in the room? Anybody ever experienced that? That people try to make you feel like you don't belong. And so you know what the bad side of that is? You receive the crack in the door, but people manipulate you to say, don't bring anybody else in. Oh, y'all getting it? So they make you think you're the only one, you're special. How do you qualify that I'm special? I need the definition of your special. And I've actually had people ask me, well, what do you do for a living? What do I tell them? Well, I didn't ask you. I am an international goat wrestler. When somebody asks me a question, they're trying to qualify why I am in the room. And I don't care if you're the president of the company or whatever. If you don't understand the intellect of my intelligence and my skill set for over 35 years in corporate America, you know what I say to you? I shake your hand and say, I'm an international goat wrestler. You need to go watch the National Geographic channel, and you will see me wrestling goats. Haven't I told people that? They'll come up to me, oh, well, hi, how are you? Well, what do you do for a living? I'm a goat wrestler. I'm an international goat wrestler. Because they're trying to ask me, well, how did you get here? Like, oh, you the token. There you go. Somebody wasn't watching the game. So then they try to position you that you don't let nobody else. Now, my problem, this is how I think. Well, how did all y'all get in here? And I know some of y'all are not qualified. Because when you open your mouth, it tells me everything. Are you seeing what I'm saying? Woo! They're smart on one end on the doctoral program and totally somebody don't know what planet they're from. Literally. And so then they try to put you in a disposition or manipulate you to make you think that you're special. I was getting my teeth cleaned, and the lady said, oh my goodness, you're an overachiever. I said, hold on. I asked for someone else. The standard that came from my grandmother and my grandfather had no more than a third grade education. But they have never told me one day in my life that I was an overachiever, which means you have low expectations of me.
She said that about you in general or your teeth? Like they were too clean or something?
No, she just, because I told her what I was doing. Because when they talk to you, they're trying to, buy time and just have casual conversation. And here's the whole point. They had adopted people, read between the lines, and then they can look, oh, you're an overachiever. And it makes you angry. And I'm going to say this, and I'm not here to offend anybody, but this is true and this is law. The National Football League have just settled a lawsuit for concussions. And they said one ethnicity group was at 100% cognizant, so they get 100% pay. There was another ethnicity group that only had 35% cognizant, so they wouldn't give them more than 10 to 15%. And so it took a 10 to 15, 20, and y'all just out there cheering for the football team, and you in the stands with your paraphernalia on, and they don't think you have the same competence as others do. And you make up about 80 to 85% of the workforce. But there's some people that think you have less intelligence. So I'm going to try to ask you a question without insulting people. Why you act the way you act when that wasn't what you were given from God? Why do you let people judge you by the color of your skin, and rather than the content and the ability and the intellect intelligence that you're supposed to show, working on your destiny and your future, but you somewhere being somebody's clown? Can I say this? Their heroes are successful billionaires. Some people heroes are comedians and athletes. Some people teaching their kids how to run fast, and there's nothing wrong with that, because that could be a talent, that's a generational talent. But then some people teaching their kids to be doctors, lawyers, and judges. What are you feeding the minds of the children? Am I making sense? Last of the D's, destroy. When people can destroy your mind, they destroy anything coming after you. They put a poison in your mind that destroys you, that you take that poison. It's like rat poison. The rat goes and get the poison. They go back to their colony, and they put the poison in their colony. Y'all have never killed rats? You ain't never. They here. They here. Yeah, they here. Go to New York. They look like cats going down the street. Yes. And so they manipulate your mind, and we take the poison right back to our families. They said we can't. How do you know you can't drive when you never had a chance to take the steering wheel? But if they tell you you can't drive, what do you tell yourself? Oh, come on. I used to hate this. Oh, won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? And then talking about the struggle is real. No, the struggle is accepted. The struggle is a part of the process, not life. Am I making sense? So, and I said off camera, who's responsible for waking up your mind? Poor, P-O-O-R, passing over opportunities repeatedly. Watch out for people putting you at a disadvantage. How will they do it? The 4 Ds: dismiss, discredit, and demonize, and destroy. Because once they infect you, you go right back home and put limitations on your community. You know how you do it? You don't hold a standard. You're supposed to be a standard, not because of your race, but because of your God. But parents do not train their children that you're going to have oppositions from all sides. So now we have youth who cannot handle problems because they were brought up in a fairy tale type of world. Because parents try to make their world perfect. There is no perfect world. You are going to get scars in this world. You're going to make mistakes in this world. You're going to be overlooked in this world. But that is no excuse to walk away from your future and your destiny. If the parent's mind is lazy, then the children's mind will be lazy. And if the parents aren't lazy, watch who your children hanging with. If you're sleeping at church, you're going to be sleeping in school. If you're sleeping at school, you're going to be sleeping in college. If you're sleeping in college, you're going to be sleeping at the steering wheel. If you're playing, yes, and sleeping at work. If you're playing games at church, you're going to be playing games at school. If you're playing games at school, you're going to be playing games in the car. I'm trying to ask, when do you quit parenting? I don't want to hurt their feelings. That's my job, to hurt your feelings. Because if I hurt you, I can watch you get over it. If they hurt you, you're going to come, and then you're going to be sitting in my basement. Oh, no. You're not going to be 32 sitting in my basement. Son, come here. Y'all won the Super Bowl. He too big for me to be trying to feed. Come on. Come on up here with your daddy. This is my only son. So all y'all telling lies, talking about, well, you know, I heard. You ain't heard nothing. This is my only son. Turn around. Philadelphia Eagle fan. I got to talk to him when I get off of line. I'm going to get me a Philadelphia Eagle tag, because it's not so much the Philadelphia Eagle. Because of all the things that were said about the team. I thought he liked the team because of one person. He actually liked the team. But when I saw the negativity and criticism from all sides, Jalen Hurts pretty much didn't have but 1% support. He walked by on Super Bowl day when people who never won a Super Bowl, nah, he ain't gonna do that, he ain't gonna do that. Then they said, you know, we got the dreamers out there. Well, we just right around the corner. We ain't gonna call no name. We just right around the corner. We can beat them. You can't even get to the playoffs. You can't even get to the playoffs on a consistent basis. And they've been to the Super Bowl 2 out of the last 3 years. Come on. Yeah. They had to think about it because, you know, they in their own conspiracy theory. So he cannot be sitting in my basement. Tell my daddy, I ain't ready for this, daddy. I ain't ready. So no. You have to look your child in the face and say no. No, and I'm going to share this with you. My grandson, it wasn't me, but we put him in karate. And I saw him one day. He said, you know, the opposition is not going to fight fair, so you got to know how to defend you got to teach your children early that opposition is not your friend. Opposition is a challenge, and the Bible says he'll make your enemy your what? If you think anybody's going to get in a fight with you and fight fair, you're not going to be in a fight. You're going to be in a slaughter. Because you're coming to talk, and they're going to knock your teeth out. Even she laughed. Thank you, sir. But I mean, am I making sense? Why not you? Why not you? Go back to being a dreamer. Write your dreams down. You haven't accomplished nothing. You're just getting started. When your children and your children's children have something to stand on that you built, but you don't own any ground. You just own the emotional field. Well, your family gonna be all right, money in the bank. You know what people do that's not used to money? Say it. Spin and blow. Yes, because you know what? When you got to pay for it, she's somewhere out in the lily field. You know, I throw up the peace sign to say bye, and she over here. Well, where are we today?